Hello and welcome to Blytheway Business News. I am Bonnie Hughes. Joining us today is Mark Childs, CEO of Condor Gold. The company is advancing their La India project in Nicaragua towards production. Hello, Mark, and thank you for giving us an update.
Yeah, good afternoon, Bonnie.
So, Mark, you announced an updated PEA this month. The economics have increased substantially. The internal rate of return has more than doubled, and the post-tax net present value has more than quadrupled compared to the PEA you issued into 2014. Was this partly due to the increase in the resource?
We increased the open pittable resource. Notably, a couple of years ago, we found a new open pit at Mestiza, very high grade, 120,000 ounces at 8.7 grams. So that was additional open pit material coming in. It's also due to using a higher gold price than 7 years ago. We're using $1,550 as a base case as opposed to $1,250, so $300 increase in the gold price. Plus, we've optimized very much the mine schedules. Instead of having 3 different phases in the main pit, we've actually got 9. So there's a lot more optimization that's gone in, bringing high grade early on into the production schedule.
And is your plan to move into a PFS, updated PFS as well?
We're bypassing the PFS, actually, Bonnie. We're going straight to an FS. So we're doing a bankable feasibility one in the UK. Sometimes it's called the DFS, a definitive feasibility study. So the PA we put out showed 2 scenarios. One was we want to put our best foot forward. So that shows 150,000 ounces of gold per annum for 9 years, so, which is great. And basically almost 1.5 million ounces produced over the life of mine. And NPVs over at 1,700 gold will be over $400 million US, and IRRs of 54%. And importantly, for someone like Nicaragua, a 12-month payback period. So which is great because given frontier markets, people want to know, and lenders particularly want to know their money can be paid back to them very quickly, which you can on this project. So super strong project economics. And of course, the project's fully permitted. But that 150,000 ounces in a PEA is just for the readers who are unfamiliar with this. FSs can only show measured and indicated resources, whereas a PEA, preliminary economic assessment, can include the inferred material, which is a lower quantity, a lower degree of certainty, let's say. So when we do the FS will be in Q1 of next year, where 2/3 of it is completed, actually, as we speak. And that we're targeting with the FS, and our base case is 100,000 ounces, but the PEA of 150,000, that's where we want to be. That's, if you like, we're taking a 2-step approach to get to 150,000 ounces, which we identified in the PEA. And step 1 will be 100,000 from open pit material, and then step 2 will fund out a cash flow, the expansion to take it to 150,000 ounces.
Well, that's great news. So your release last week on drilling and cacao, you commented that your strategy is to demonstrate a 5 million ounce gold district. What is Condor's plan and timeline to achieve this?
We've been stating the 5 million ounce district play for several years now. And we've done a huge amount of work on this already. We've flown the helicopter-borne geophysics. We've done soil geochemistry. We have radiometrics. We have a lot of mapping. We've got about 110 detailed structural models. We have 110 kilometers of veining on the surface. So a very easy win for us is just to drill down the existing ore shoots on the core area of 2.1 million ounces and along strike. And we can probably add almost 1 million ounces just where we are at the moment, because we haven't actually drilled deep holes so far. The second part of the target, which we coming on to, which you mentioned, on cacao, where we've just put out some drill results last week and an assessment that we think is a completely preserved and buried epithermal vein system containing 500,000, 1 million ounces or so. So, and there are many targets. We're sort of almost drowning in targets that we've identified. We just need the money to go and drill them.
And so the promising drill results at Cacao identified that the system as being wide, greater than 10 meters true width, a mineralized zone for a strength length of 1,000 meters with grades increasing at depth. Can you give us more details on the results and what it means for Condor?
Yeah, well, one of the drill results there is 15 meters true width at 4 grams. I've rounded those numbers, but that's a nice wide zone. And what we've really done is we found the structure and over 1,000 meters of strike length. So beneath the surface, a lot. I'm talking the horizontal length of it. We've got over 1,000 meters at that width. Now we've identified 2 high-grade ore shoots within that, and we need to put additional drilling in to ascertain whether this is a much bigger deposit. But the cacao sits in a down-thrown block. It's fully preserved. There's quite a bit of technical structural nature within this. The sinter at the surface, it looks like some of it's underneath alluvium cover, so it hasn't been identified before. But it looks like a major new discovery on the project.
That's excellent. And so earlier in the year, you purchased a SAG mill from First Majestic. What is the progress on the importation of this SAG mill and site clearance preparation?
The SAG mill is a complete new SAG mill package, which you discussed before. It's now about 80% into the country, and which is great news. I was in Nicaragua about 3 weeks ago before the conferences. And actually went to the warehouse and saw everything sort of there that we have. So it's in storage. We have one more piece, parts to come in from Mexico, being picked up from, which is being stored by First Majestic. In terms of the site clearance, we've got some nice photos in my latest presentation at the Denver Gold Forum that show we're clearing the site. And so we have all the tree cutting permits, and we're reforesting 10 trees for every one we cut down. So there's a great momentum in the country with a mill arriving in the country, almost arrived completely, and clearing the site for construction where the processing plant is going to be.
Excellent. You just appointed Mr. Jair Diaz Navarro as senior mining engineer at La India, which is a good plan as Condor approaches production. What other steps will Condor be taking as you move closer to this monumental moment?
Well, I've been busy building the team actually over the last 6 to 12 months to take this through to construction. Jair is actually fantastic coming in from Oceana Gold. I spent time with him on site 3 weeks ago. He'll be full-time at Minalândia. And then we also had a new CFO from Calibre Mining, John Seaberg, joined on the 1st of this month. So those are 2 key hires in the space of 6 weeks. We'll be hiring COOs. And in the country, we have mining engineers, civil engineers, hydrologists. We have 81 people on the payroll, so we've got a good local team to take this to the next step. But really, ahead of any construction finance, we do need to get out a DFS or an FS or a bankable study in Q1 of next year. So that's going to be an important document for us. But the PEA's flag that's going to be highly economic. With expansion potentials and so forth, and we're trying to keep the capex to under $100 million for the processing plant which we've purchased. And as I say, that's a stage 1 approach.
Well, the PEA is a good first step to make a decision on whether to move towards construction, and certainly the PEA did show very promising economic results. And so, yeah. Mark, thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to further updates on Condor Gold.
Thank you, Bonnie.
And thank you for joining us on Broadway Business News.